Okay, just for a second, picture a world map in your head. You know the one. Now find Indonesia. It's that little sprinkle of islands between Asia and Australia, right? Seems kind of tucked away, pretty modest looking on the equator. But what if I told you that map, the one we've all seen 1,000 times, is showing you a complete illusion?
Yeah, I know. That sounds a little dramatic. But our perception of how big Indonesia really is, it isn't just a little bit off, it's fundamentally wrong. And the reason for this huge misunderstanding has nothing to do with politics. It's all about map making. And it goes back hundreds of years to the very map that shaped how we all see the planet.
So let's pull back the curtain on this map line. To really get why Indonesia looks so deceptively small on our maps, we have to look at the one that became the global standard, and more importantly, why it was made that way in the first place.
And here it is, the famous Mercator Projection. Now this thing was created way back in 1569, and its whole job was to help sailors get from point A to point B. And for that, it's an absolute work of genius. It keeps all the angles correct, so a straight line on the map is a straight course for your ship. But for showing how big countries actually are, oh boy, it has one heck of a flaw.
This right here just lays it all out. See, to turn a round globe into a flat map, Mercator had to do some serious stretching and distorting. So landmasses up near the poles, think Greenland or Russia, they get blown up to look absolutely massive. But the countries right on the equator, they get the opposite treatment. They get squeezed down, totally compressed.
And this is the key. Indonesia sits smack dab on the equator. That makes it one of the biggest victims of this cartographic trick. So what you're seeing on that map is not the real deal. It's a funhouse mirror version. So let's correct the record, shall we?
All right, this is the fun part. We're about to see what happens when we peel Indonesia off that distorted map and show you its true, honest-to-goodness size. I'm telling you, this is going to completely change how you picture the world.
Just look at that number, 5,120 kilometers. That's how far Indonesia stretches from its western tip to its eastern edge. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, picture this. That's wider than the entire United States from California all the way to New York. Or it's about the same distance as flying from London to Tehran. It's immense.
And what about travel time? A domestic flight, staying within the same country, from one side of Indonesia to the other, takes about 7 hours. 7. That's like getting on a plane in Amsterdam and flying all the way across the Atlantic to New York City.
So if it's that incredibly wide, what else does that mean? Well, it means the country covers not one, not two, but 3 separate time zones. You know, when kids are waking up and getting ready for school on the eastern side, folks on the western side are still sound asleep in the middle of the night.
And this huge expanse isn't just empty ocean. We're talking about an archipelago made up of, get this, over 17,000 islands. I mean, just let that number sink in. 17,000. And every single one has its own unique culture, its own ecosystem, its own story. And these aren't just little sandbars. Some of these islands are absolute giants. You've got Sumatra, which is bigger than Sweden and Norway put together. Then there's Borneo, the 3rd largest island on the entire planet. Java, which is the most crowded major island in human history. The incredible K-shaped island of Sulawesi. And then you have Papua, an island so mountainous it actually has glaciers right near the equator. It's mind-blowing.
Okay, so the sheer physical size is staggering. But honestly, the human scale might be even more mind-boggling. Let's pivot for a second and just look at the sheer number of people who call this continent-wide archipelago home. Indonesia has a population of 277 million people. That makes it the 4th biggest country on Earth by population, right after the US, India, and China. We're talking more people than all of Brazil, more people than Russia and Germany combined.
And this is where it just gets wild. Take just one of those islands, Java. It has 156 million people living on it. Now look at this comparison. That one island has more people than the entire country of Russia, the biggest country on the planet by area. It's almost unbelievable.
And let's zoom in even more. The capital city, Jakarta, and its surrounding metro area, that's home to about 34 million people. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire population of Australia, all living in one giant city.
Okay, so we've established it. Indonesia is massive. So what? Why does this matter to the rest of the world? Well, when you combine that incredible size with its location on the map, you get a country with a global importance, both politically and economically, that is just impossible to overstate.
I mean, just look at where it sits. It is literally the gatekeeper between the Indian and Pacific Oceans. More than half of all the world's shipping has to pass through its waters. It borders the Strait of Malacca, which is one of the most critical naval choke points on the entire planet. Its geography alone makes it unbelievably strategic.
And that's not all. The resources it has are just incredible. We're talking the world's biggest reserves of nickel, which is absolutely vital for all those electric car batteries. It has some of the biggest rainforests outside of the Amazon, basically acting as the lungs of the planet. And its waters are home to the Coral Triangle, which is like the Amazon of the oceans, the most diverse marine life anywhere on Earth.
So you take that size, that location, and all those resources, and what do you get? You get an economic powerhouse in the making. Right now, it's already the biggest economy in all of Southeast Asia. And the projections, by 2045, it's on track to be the fourth largest economy in the world.
You know, I think this quote just says it all, really. There's this huge disconnect between how the world perceives Indonesia and the powerful reality of what this nation actually is and what it's on its way to becoming.
So, just think about that for a second. The next time you glance at a world map, that small-looking chain of islands straddling the equator, well, it's not going to look so small anymore, is it? Because understanding Indonesia's true scale doesn't just change your view of one country, it kind of forces you to redraw your entire mental map of the world.